Hey, Jonathan, good to have you. First of all, and I got a few things I want to ask you. You know, when you first came on the court and you got the standing ovation, what's going through your mind? Like, what were the emotions when you first stepped on the court?
I was really thinking about two things. The first one, I was just so glad the Lord just put me in this position, just gave me this platform to be able to be a representation of His miracle in our daily lives. And I was just so grateful to see my girlfriend in the stands. She's been there from day one, helped me going through this process. And
Yeah.
I was just so glad she was able to just witness what we accomplished, because this is not just me. This was both of us.
Yeah, you know, I talked to you briefly last night, and as we were preparing for this show, and by the way, this show is brought to you by Bill Rosenberry, an attorney who's sponsoring this post-game show with some generous support. So thank you to Bill for doing that. But we were talking, and you were telling me that, you know, you said you're not going to go catch a lob at 12 feet like you've done in the past, probably not today, maybe in the future. But you said you really liked your game and how you've, you know, progressed because you've been able to take a step back, you know, work on your skill set. I've heard that you're shooting like 500 threes a day. That showed, right? 2 for 2. Can't get better than two out of 2 attempts. You know, you made both your threes, which was awesome. How did the speed of the game? I know you've been practicing, but you know, was it an adjustment getting in an actual game situation from?
It's true that I've been practicing for a couple of weeks now, but at the end of the day, there's a difference between game speed and practice speed.
Right.
So when I just got in with it, excitement and everything, I felt the game was going a little fast. So I got back to doing what I really do, just play with a high motor and talk. So then second half, the game actually slowed down for me. I was trying to find my little steps in the game, trying to see how to guard people, because at the end of the day, I'm a different player, different athlete, but still a great athlete. Just trying to find my game again, trying to see how I will guard, trying to see how I can affect the game off the ball, trying to see how I can impact my teammate, keep them accountable, and just elevate the level of the play.
Yeah, that was great. All right, I have to ask you about a sequence. There was a run that we made where I believe he fell down after securing the rebound. Jalen Bridges hit a 3 in the corner, and I noticed that you gave the timeout signal to the Texas Tech bench. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
We thought that was hilarious.
That was just me acting out of character. I was just excited.
No, that was awesome. Baylor fans love that in rivalry games. So you know, you're a legend for doing that. And then the second thing I wanted to ask you about is, a caller asked, there was a play where Keontae got a steal. He missed the shot at the rim, but then he showed a lot of toughness to tie the ball up again. And even though I think that was possession Tech, the caller wanted to know, you know, does that inspire you as a senior to see like a freshman out there making those kind of hustle plays? What's your thought on that?
Definitely. First, our teams praise themselves on trying to be the toughest team to win the games. And I feel like in the Big 12, most of the time, they're going to be close games, 1 or 2 position games, so we need to win those 50-50. And I really praise myself that play. I was going to outfight the next opponent. So when I see a freshman doing that, that just get me going, because I always trying to get on them to be able to win 50-50, because at the end of the day, offense doesn't travel, but defense always do. Your mother always do. How you play always do. So those are little things that translate at next level and also help us win games.
Absolutely. So this is brought to you by Bill Rosenberry Law. We want to give another shout out to him for graciously sponsoring this post-game show. We've got callers that want to talk to John. I'm sure there were people that were disappointed they had to talk to me and Brian before you got here. So let's roll through the callers. Who else we have, Emery?
We got Don from Waco.
Hey, Don. How's it going, man?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Everyday job, man. Thank you for just coming back and just the excitement that you brought. You know, I think you should just change your name to, like, Everyday Raining Threes, you know?
Three-point specialist.
Yeah, that second one that you I'm sorry, guys. I was at Lafayette, so kind of celebrating the win, so I had to walk outside.
Yeah.
But that second 3 that you made, man, starting that sequence of the raining threes, you know, that was, gosh, as a fan, it was so cool to see. And the one when Jalen came in there and just slammed it home and fell, I was hoping he would jump back up, you know, with excitement, you know, so just to keep the momentum going. But that was that's a great sequence. I want to give a shout-out to T-Rex, okay, for doing what he's doing. I posted on Twitter about him being the Pied Piper of the Baylor University, bringing all his little friends to the game, So what he did, the tickets that he was able to distribute out was just freaking amazing, just to fill the stadium, like he said, just a few calls before me. So anyway, shout out to him for doing that, and shout out for Brian and Ashley for, picking up the slack and waiting for the big guy to come in and, carry the show out. So
Sorry about that.
every day, listen, man, thanks for, like T-Rex said, and everything that you've done and the positivity that you bring to not only to the team but to the community, and the story that you tell, So it's really inspirational. It's really cool to hear. It's really cool to be a part of, So being a Baylor fan myself. So anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Yeah, I want to say just what's noticeable to me is your energy, talking on defense. Just your elite pick setter. I think you just bring like maybe a little something that the team was missing. Just from an energy and enthusiasm standpoint. Do you feel like that's like one of the most vital roles you play? I know you can do that on the bench, but being on the court is different, right?
It's definitely different, and I always believe that everybody's unique. Everybody just bring to the team something that's really specific and something that's irreplaceable. Just like Flo would bring something irreplaceable, Adam Flagger would bring something irreplaceable, even our bench would bring something irreplaceable. Right. I just felt like that every time mattered, just my ability to be a glue guy, to just get the team together and just go make the tough plays, always worrying about winning and just getting my teammate excited about the game. I feel like that's something that we were missing, and I can work myself back into bringing that more.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it showed. It definitely showed on the court. And I also want to give a shout-out to Jalen Bridges. I mean, he falls hard. I wasn't sure if he's going to return the second half just based on the fall, but he had a great second half. I mean, he played extremely well, put up some big numbers, made his threes, did some really good things. So
he was crushing the
glass really well. And everybody, I mean, Keontae had a great game. Adam had a great game. LJ, even though he didn't make his threes, he was distributing. LJ and Langston Love, 8 assists, 0 turnovers. And then the big stat to me we talked about earlier is they shot 31 times and they only got 3 offensive rebounds. That's incredible. Like, 10%. Yeah.
It's really good because our coaching staff really trying to make us a better defensive rebound team and trying to get more offensive rebound at the same time. We're always trying to out-rebound the other team because at the end of the day, the second shot always goes in. So I feel like it was a point of emphasis the whole season, and we're getting better with it. So I'm really glad to see how my teammates are stepping up.
Yeah, for sure. We got another call, Emory.
We got Brian from San Antonio.
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Good. Hey, Ashley. Hey, John. I'm so excited to be able to call in. Usually by the time I drive home, I miss the call-in show.
Yeah. The San Antonio number threw me off, but yeah. Hey, thanks for calling. Yep.
Yeah, no, and I'm so excited to hear John's voice. Great game. Man, just great to have you back. But to hit those threes and to spread the court and your energy, wow, it was a phenomenal game. And I think really the team, like as a whole, played like very balanced. If you look at the stat sheets, and like there wasn't like one dominant player. They're just like, I don't know, they spread the ball around very well, and it was an amazing complete game. So it was very exciting to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. What's I'm curious. You mentioned Lauren and her support. Through this all, and we've interviewed you over the summer, the two of you together. But the days that you just like, it was such a grind mentally, and so hard to do the rehab. I mean, did all those thoughts come back to you? Pregame maybe, or did like once you get on the court, were you just flushing all that and just focusing on the task at hand?
Well, to be honest with you, all those stuff came back last night because I really wanted to be locked in for the game. Since it was an all-day game, I wanted to just step in the arena with one thought in my mind, just to win.
Right.
But definitely.
Yeah. So last night you reflected a lot. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Very good. Hey, thank you for the call, Brian. Appreciate it. Emory, we got more? Yeah, we got Jonathan. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? How you doing? Welcome to the postgame show, sponsored by Bill Rosenberry Law with Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua and Ashley Hodge.
Yes, am I on? Is this on?
You're on. You're on.
This is Gunny Hartman calling from San Francisco. How are you guys?
All right, we got some shtick going here. All right. What questions do you have for Jonathan?
I just wanted to know real quick if Jonathan thinks that Coach Mark Adams looks a lot like that Austin Powers guy from the movies. I think he kind of does, so I was curious to know if that's what Jonathan thought. But on a serious note, I am so excited that Jonathan came back. He did such a great job today, and I look forward to posting about it on the board. So remember, this is Gunny Hartman. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the call. Yeah, it's funny. I've heard the Austin Powers comparison, and then this is before your time, but Pat on Saturday Night Live. Pat on Saturday Night Live.
Recall that.
Yeah, and then the other one was Janet Reno, the Attorney General. There's been some comparisons to Mark Adams. Pretty unfair, but the Austin Powers is probably the better one. Yeah, for sure. Great call. All right, Emery, who do we got? All right, Jonathan from Grand Prairie. Welcome to the post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua. And by the way, for those listening to this, 254-339-1122 is the number. If you'd like to ask questions to Jonathan while he's here, please call in. We'd love to hear your comments. So, you said Jonathan, right?
Paul.
Hey, Paul. How's it going?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Jonathan, it was great seeing you out there on the court.
Thank you, sir.
Especially with your story, how this happened. I mean, what a magnificent display. And really proud of you and also the team for supporting you to get back into the shape. But what a fantastic game overall to route Tech. And it was just magnificent to see. That's all I got to say. And go Bears.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for the call. Appreciate the feedback. What do you think we need to get better? Like, you're practicing with these guys every day. I was talking to a coach this week, and he made a comment that when we have a post touch and we actually run the play or the set that's called, that like we score like 1.4 points per possession.
Right,
You've heard this, right? Probably. Yeah. And then when we have to revert to a high ball screen, kind of chaos mode, it's like 0.5 points per possession. I'm sure you heard this all week in practice. Yeah. So is that an emphasis? Like, let's get better offensively. We got a lot of work to do defensively too, but let's be the best we can be offensively and really just dial in on running these plays well.
Yes, definitely. We just need to focus more on attacking the paint, getting 2 feet in the paint, because most teams are actually scoring the paint against us, and it's a Big 12. Those are an easy bucket, and be able to get on transition. I feel like we can do a better job at that, doing a better job at running plays, because I doubt people can actually guard us when we run our plays right. And from the defensive aspect of it, we just need to get more steps, just get more kills. Kills is just 3 stops in a row, be more motivated about defense, and just go on with it. I feel like we're going to be an excellent team if we keep on doing that.
Yeah. So I'll ask you about a sequence. Davion Harmon, I think he shot 2 3-pointers on you. He made the first one, and he's only like a 25% 3-point shooter. So maybe the scouting report is.
You got to play the hard. You need to play the hard.
Yeah. But the second one you contested really well, and I think he bricked it off the side of the board, or maybe even airballed it.
That was airball.
Okay. Yeah. Like, was that part of the, like, when you just knew the scouting report, hey, he's 25%. He's a good driver. So I'm going to maybe give him that little step back, 2-3 steps behind the 3-point line. Look.
Yeah. Some of it is knowing the scouting report and just knowing the player that I am now. Like, I won't get all the way up to him to trying to get the ball back. And I also know where he want to drive. So I got to shade off that side. And I know that I can, trust my teammates to have the rim to be able to take a charge if I ride the hip. So I feel like that's part of our defense. Like, when we really click, we all play at the same time. It's not only one person guarding the ball, it's literally 5 person guarding. So I feel confident enough to force a player to do like what they don't want to do. Davion Harmon is a great player. Just I need to give him his flowers, but at the end of the day, there's some things that you can do, some things that you cannot, and we try to make sure that we didn't make him look like what he wanted to do. So.
Sure. We got another call, Emery?
Yeah, we got Greg from Tulsa.
Hey, Greg, welcome to the post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua. Am I pronouncing it right?
Hey, Ashley, thank you so much for having this show and bringing Jonathan on today. Obviously, he's a fan favorite, so we're excited to see him back on the court. Mike, I got two questions. Jonathan, what they say for athletes, it's super hard, feel a lot of loneliness at times as you're trying to rehab, as maybe the team's traveling and you're not getting to travel with them early on in your recovery. Tell us a little bit about that and how you got through that, and any of the anybody, maybe you've shared a little bit, but anything that helped you get through that. And then also, since you weren't able to move around as much, did you work on your three-point shooting more in the interim while you're trying to get your legs right?
Yes, definitely a hard process, especially right after the first surgery, because you really can't travel with the team. You're really locked in your crutches, and you start hating them. But it's definitely a good thing, because at the end of the day, the only way for you to help the team is to get healthy. So you focus on that. You stay at home, you do rehab, you lock in on that. And from the three-point shooting aspect, from day one, I knew that I couldn't use my legs right after surgery, but I could still do foam shooting. Like, I would do foam shooting to the point where my elbow would be hurting. So I've done a lot of that, and I knew that all these months that I knew were going to be ahead was actually just a blessing in disguise, because they gave me the chance to just work on my game with no pressure to practice or to perform right away. So I was just kept on working on my game all these days, and just evolving and just keep on progressing, and then starting practice and starting warming up with the team and playing today.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, you've been practicing for a while, and initially I heard a rumor, probably didn't come out of your mouth, that you might play your first game on the road so that you wouldn't have the pressure of the home crowd, for your comeback. But was today always the target? Did you kind of always target this game, maybe this day?
Actually, I never really had a target. It was really depending on how my knee feel and my mental state is too.
Right.
And I was always evaluating myself every week, every Sunday. How do I feel? How did I practice this week?
Right.
Does my knee feel safe? Do I feel like I'm getting used to the brace? Do I feel like I'm okay if I don't play well? Do I feel like I want to take the next step? So I was always like evaluating myself and also evaluating my mental state. And until this week that I actually felt really comfortable. And then when I made the decision, the closer as we get into this day, the more I felt like it was the right decision.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know obviously you could have made all your shots, or you could have, you had a nice little jump hook in the lane that just didn't go in. You had the charge, but I mean, you gotta be happy with the way you played today. I mean, for your first game back, are you satisfied with, or do you critique yourself too? You're like, I did some things wrong that I need to.
I always critique myself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what makes me a good player, because I'm trying to be a perfectionist. But I'm just so glad and just feel so grateful to be able to be out there. I feel like it's just a blessing by itself and a miracle, and I'm just worrying about that now.
Yeah, and when we talked last night, you said you like that walking miracle is a phrase you've really cling to, and you mentioned you just want to be an inspiration, to show how Christ has used you to have a platform for other people. There's other athletes that may be watching this video and drawing inspiration from you. What's your message to them, to anybody that's out there that's going through tough times with injuries or anything?
One thing that I realized, and that my girlfriend and people around me told me, that is with faith, consistent hard work, and just discipline, you can do anything. At the end of the day, you just got to pray for it. Like, there's nothing impossible as long as you pray for it and work on it. Like, God is going to be able to make things happen. Like, literally, I need to walk around with a brace. Like, I'm not supposed to be able to play the game of basketball if this injury happened 10 or 20 years ago. So just being able to walk around, go to the kitchen, and get out of the bed is just a blessing by itself, because I'm wearing a brace. So it's just a quick reminder every time that God is actually lifting me up.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Inspirational. I know there's a lot of teary eyes when you stepped on the court, and especially the video before the game. Very emotional day at the Farrell Center for sure. Emory, are we out of calls?
Yeah, we still got a few calls.
All right, let's roll through them.
All right. We got Bob from Austin.
Hey, Bob. Welcome to the post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua.
And Ashley, the way you're pronouncing Jonathan's name is what I've always heard as being correct. And if that's correct, why can't our SID tell the national media how to correctly pronounce his name. They get it wrong every single time.
Yeah, I know. I know you've probably taken your lumps as far as disrespect with the name. I know people still call you JTT, even though you say don't
which
call
I'm
me
still mad
JTT.
about.
Yeah,
Which I'm still mad about.
You kind of like Everyday John. I think
Yes,
Nunes gave you that. Yeah. But you prefer to have people say your actual name, right?
Yeah, I prefer to have them say my actual name. But
Right.
if they know they can't say it, just go with Everyday John.
Yeah. Any questions, Bob? On the
Well, I wonder now after his injury, Jonathan may or may not be able to jump like he used to. So would he be willing to take Ashley on in a dunking contest?
Oh boy, yeah. Nerf. Let's do the Nerf.
question.
Let's do the Nerf.
Okay, I have one serious question. That is, during the recovery, was there ever time that you had a significant setback so that you had lost traction on your recovery?
Not really, but in reality, the amazing part of rehab is that you take 2 steps forward and 1 step backward, but you need to remind yourself that when you're taking that step backward, you had made so much progress. And I just had to remind myself every time, and the people around me just did a great job to let me know that I'm getting better every day. And I was actually getting better every day. So,
yeah, good stuff. All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Emery, we got a couple more?
Yeah, we got
hold?
Chris Baker.
Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Welcome to the post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua. Chris, you there?
Hey, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome to the call-in show.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not Baker, but
okay.
I thought it was a different person.
Yep.
Yeah, first of all, John, I wanted to say welcome back, man. We loved you, we have missed you, and what a blessing to see you out there playing today. We've been praying for you, and just want to let you know that you were missed terribly, and congratulations on the game. I do have a question about the game. In the first half, it seems Tech was able to get inside the paint and score. Sometimes it will. And second half, they had a lot harder time. What was the coach and what was the talk at halftime that shut that down?
Literally protect the pen. That is a team. We need to protect the pen. Tech looks to make choose. I believe they was scoring 20. They scored 20 points in the pen that first half. So we had to protect the pen. We had to just lock back in on scouting report and know who does what and what they're looking to do. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Did a good job, for sure.
Yep. Then we got one more.
All right, one more, and then we got a few message board questions, too, we're going to roll through. All right, Emery?
We got Eric.
Hey, Eric.
From Lubbock.
Welcome to the post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua.
Hey, Ashley, this is Eric in Lubbock, and hey, Jonathan. Hey, I just want to give you a shout-out. At the game in Lubbock, I think you'll remember before the game, I got there early with my nephews, and we took a picture with you during warm-up.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to lie, they're of elementary age, and they were there to get their Baylor jersey signed by Keontae George. But I saw you over there, and I said, hey, guys, this guy's awesome. Let's go get a photo. Well, today I went to my brother's house to watch the game over there. We're both Baylor grads. And the youngest one, he just kept coming up to me saying, Uncle Eric, I got a picture with him. So, yeah, you're legendary now, and they're so happy they got a photo of you.
I'm glad I made it that day. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. All right, I got a few message board questions for you, Jonathan. All right, so this is from Baylor 91. How did it feel your first play back with that timeout? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. All right, so this is Boxer. Besides you, obviously, who else brings the most everyday John work ethic to the team? And where does your work ethic and passion come from? How can the coaching staff be successful in instilling a little EJ in future Baylor players? So do you have someone in mind that maybe brings that same
on the team?
Yeah, like who's the hardest worker on the team besides you?
There's a lot of names. I would go with Langston Love, one of the hardest worker that I know. As a freshman, I would go with Caleb Lorna and Adam Flagler.
Yeah,
the leader in their own ways. So
those guys come to mind.
Definitely.
Yep. And where does your passion come from? Like, was that instilled in you from a young age, or is that something you've developed as you've gotten older?
It was instilled in me from a young age, from my dad. He came from nothing and always taught me that you need to work 5 times harder than the next man to even have a chance in life. And I just kept on believing in that and just use it as a mantra, and that's just how I go by life.
Right.
Just always trying to outwork the next guy.
I have my own thoughts about this last question, but how can the coaching staff be successful in instilling a little EJ in future Baylor players? I mean, do you think that people, you almost have to recruit guys that are already that way, right? I mean, once they get to college, it's hard to like change somebody's habits to make them a hard worker. I mean, have you seen transformation once people actually get to campus, or is it more what you are in high school is what you're going to be in college?
It's actually a tough question because I believe it's all about culture,
right.
And we believe that culture doesn't graduate. A Baylor culture has always been about getting into the gym, keeping the gym busy, having literally no basket to work out because everybody's out there. So I feel like the more we do that, the more it's going to stay and stick with a Baylor culture, because my work ethic even got what it is right now because I was around people like Davion Mitchell, Matthew Chick, who were just living in the gym rats. So being around them helped me a lot, and I feel like that's what's going to happen to future generation. We're just going to make sure the culture doesn't graduate. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, this is Lanky Lefty. He says, with the journey that both you and Josh came to play, talk about the experience with the NBA Global Academy, Basketball Without Borders. How do you see the growth of the game in Central and Western Africa over the course of the next 10 years?
I feel like the game is going to need to be more globalized, and that's what's going to happen. There's way more prospect coming from Africa, and at the end of the day, they just miss facilities and just structure. And for the past couple of years, there's been more African people getting drafted. There's been more African people in the NCAA and actually playing well. So I feel like it's just going to keep on growing. That's really what it is.
Right. All right, this is a comment. EJ, you carried the team today, and now you're carrying the post-game show. Is there anything you can't carry? All right, you got some jokes here. All right, so Rifle Bear, are you a better three-point shooter than Flagler and Cryer and Keontae? The stats don't lie.
There's no real stat if it's only after one game. Only time will tell.
Small sample size, but hey, you can't beat 100%. And you were, 46% last year, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I only played half the season, too.
Well,
so.
True. But, I mean, LJ's a great shooter, and I think he's like maybe close to that in conference play, but on the season, Adam was up there for a while, and maybe after today he's closer to that. All right, we got more questions about your three-point shooting. Let's see. Any other questions here? Just making sure we cover everybody's. The commander was back today. Justin Cates, he's a great leader and communicator on the floor. Praise God for his awesome story and great game. Yep. Good stuff, man. Well, again, this has been brought to you by Bill Rosenberry. Very gracious to support this post-game show. We had Emery on the board. We have a good audience here. We got Sam Bradshaw and his daughter. We got Seth Russell. We got Brian. We got Lauren. Is that your sister, Lauren? Best friend. Okay. Yeah. Great to have you. We got Jack back there on the board as well. So you've been listening to a Sikkim 365 post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge, Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua after Baylor's 89-62 win over Texas Tech. And once again, we have to give a visual here. Let's make sure this studio is nice and tidy. We're going to clean up all this dust on the desk. All right, you can't win. What do I always say? We're 17-6, and you can't win. You can't go 34-6 until you go 18-6. So beat Oklahoma. Let's do it. Thanks, John. You're an inspiration. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me.